live yet. Well, I'm live now. Now I'm live. Wow. Well, at least we were over on Jonathan's channel. That's why we do this on two channels. Anyway, back
I'm not
to it.
live either. I'm just kidding.
Golly. Technical
Cut.
difficulties. Welcome to technical difficulties. So
God.
anyway, like I was saying, some, he released a course. It's like 6 hours of footage. It's not just him. He's got Brett Papa in there, probably some other, very prominent Nashville musicians.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks to be the shit. I mean, it looks awesome. It's well shot. They spent 2 years or a year and a half making it or something like that. So
Wow.
$200 uh, is a lot of money to anybody, but that's
Mm-hmm.
on sale from 300, and people were raging over not receiving the coupon code in the email, which they decided to just make it on sale for anyone rather than
Right.
send just email listers a coupon code. So everybody got $100 off.
I bet the exclusive elites didn't like that. We signed up. It's supposed to be our, you know.
Yeah. And so anyway, I screenshotted some things, but I'll get your opinion first, which is just like, why do people have so much trouble wrapping their minds around, say you getting free gear for a demo or getting paid from a company to demo a product? Like, why is that a problem to so many people?
I think it's around the stigma of are you being honest? Because a lot of people look at it as, oh yeah, of course you got that amp for free, so you're gonna say it's good because you have to, and it's like I don't sign any paperwork, contract. I mean, I work. My day job is working in contract, so I mean, I would know, the ins and outs of that kind of stuff. I don't sign anything like that. It's like a verbal agreement, if you will, in an email that's like, hey, we're gonna send you this, and that's kind of the end of it. There's no. It's maybe talking points like, oh, it's got this feature and this feature, but there's by no means anybody trying to say, oh, I'm going to send you this, but in order for you to keep it or for us to pay you, you have to say that it's the best sound on the market. No one's doing that. There might be like a handful of companies that may do that.
Mm.
As long as I've been doing this, I've never run across that before. So,
And then on the broader scope,
you're
like,
pretty
is it wrong?
free to say whatever you want.
Oh, sorry, you were cutting out on me there for a sec.
Yeah, there's a lot of latency in
Hold on.
here.
Let me see if I can fix this on my end. Maybe that'll help. Maybe it won't. Oh, goodness. Technical difficulties. You still there?
Behind it is people just don't want to trust somebody online. They got something for free and saying, "Oh, well, then it's got to be good." But you got to build up that integrity and that trust over time. It just I don't know. It's a slippery slope, a rocky road, whatever you want to say it. I think it's a lot of that. I think that's the crux of it.
Well, and then on the broader range of the topic, which is just like, do you deserve to get paid for working in your, you know, in your beat lab, your studio, your whatever you want to call it? Like, you know, you're making a video, you're reaching out to companies or they're reaching out to you, you're making a lesson course, you're doing, like I talked with Robert Baker about this a little bit, and it's like, while money should not be the primary goal, it should be, fun.
Mm-hmm.
When you spend 2 hours shooting on professional cameras with the intent to educate, or when you spend 2 hours shooting on a video with the intent to educate your viewer on a product, like, should we all just be doing this for nothing and have nothing at the end of the day to show for it? Or, like, to me, it just, It's like I've never seen so much rage. So I am gonna read some of the comments, and then I'll have you kind of rebut them in your famous electric flamingo in fashion. Um, but
Is it famous?
yeah, so here's the first comment I screenshotted. Not to be rude, but $200 with no explanation of what you're getting. Which, by the way, there's a trailer for the course. It's very explanatory um, of what you're getting. From the promo video, all I can gather is it's just like the homeschooling intros, but with tab. I think I paid $50 for the Guthrie Trap and Justin Ostrander courses on the Brett Papa site. Is it really 4 times as good of an instructional course? $200 is more than I was budgeting at this time. Guess I'm gonna have to miss it because I won't be able to afford it when it goes back up to 300. And then before you respond, Tom's response to that was, "But it is rude, buddy." Or Bobby, yeah.
Yeah, that was gonna be my first takeaway from that is when people say not to be rude, but you're about to hear the rudest shit you've ever heard in your life, or something extremely. That is the red flag right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not uncommon when people are online and you have something that explains something. If it's a separate entity, they won't do anything about it, and it just gives them more reason to complain on the original thing that you're selling or whatever the case may be, whatever the trailer was for. That's not unheard of. I mean, it's the internet. People
Yeah.
want instant gratification. They just want it. I mean, if anything, they just want them to be like, it's this. But sometimes, though, I've seen where it's the reverse, and people want the detailed stuff. So if he had just come out and said like, "Hey, this is the course on this. Okay, bye." There might have been people say, "Well, what else is there? Like, we want
Right.
more detail." It's like, do you want the instant? Do you want the detail? Like, what do you want? That's where trailers are good. I mean, if you give them a minute and a half, 2 minutes, whatever, however long the trailer is, that's usually perfect. Think of a movie trailer, same concept. But then the whole like, oh, I won't be able to afford it when it goes back up. It's like, I don't know. It's just a lot of.
What are you supposed to tell somebody like that? Then go buy a Robert Baker course when he puts it on sale for $17. Like I can't afford
Yeah, exactly.
Tom's course right now, but to go in there like he owes me something and leave a comment about how it's like how crappy it is. It's just ridiculous. And I did leave a comment. I was like, "Hey, just wanted you to know, like, I can't sign up right now, but I'm gonna at some point, and I'll pay full price for it when I do because I'm excited to see what's in there, and I know it'll make me a better guitar player." Like that's kind of my
Right.
world. And
By the way, you were cutting out very, very badly.
oh man, yeah, we're having all kinds of issues. My children are throwing things. Anyway, guys, hit me up if you still got me over on my channel. I'm missing Johnathan at the moment.
Am I there?
You're there.
Yeah, I was just saying you keep cutting out on my end too.
Yeah, you were cutting out same time I was, so we're having real problems today. But anyway, we'll just move on to the next comment. Before I pay, no extra discount that you mentioned earlier. ? Regards, stingy. Just bought it either way. Like that one to me seems kind of fine, but still. What's the point?
You bought, like, you got it. Like, why even? What's the point?
Yeah. Okay, this one's kind of funny because it's tongue in cheek. So this is somebody making our point, which is I for one am outraged that a seasoned A-list session player would spend 2 years of his life producing high quality product that people literally ask for and then have the audacity to charge money for it. Personally, I would never expect money for the work that I do.
But here's the thing. Where's your work? You're not showing your work. Why don't you take the same amount of time and put in the A-list work there, and then see if you want to make a couple bucks off it at the end of the day? You
Yeah.
probably are gonna want to.
Yeah.
You
I
know.
mean, and I think he's like on our side. I think he was being sarcastic for most of that.
Right.
So to
Yeah.
me, he was illustrating kind of the point that we're making here, which is exactly the way I felt about it. This one's crazy. Okay, so this guy has this really long diatribe about. So this is kind of a funny thing about people opening up to you on the internet, and when it's guys like you and me, maybe at our level, like we've had the same viewers over and over again. We kind of have a community going on. Some of
Right.
that's a little less off-putting, but this guy just like opens up about all the struggles he's got because he can't play and he can't take the course, but he would recommend it sight unseen to anybody because he supports Tom and what he does. And Tom's comment, so just to like say like Tom's not being an a-hole here, like he says, "Sorry you're dealing with that, man. Eventually we're all going to end up there. Thank the Lord every day I can pick up a guitar and play without great painter." Like, a nice thing. Like, I'm sorry to hear that. And he didn't have to do that to some random guy on the internet just giving his life's sob stories. I mean, and so it's not like Tom's just running through the comments section being a jerk to anybody who has an issue. Um,
Right.
and then we talked about the lick stealing earlier, and he says, "I'm not stealing your licks. I'm borrowing them. Just don't ask for them back." And Tom says, "It's okay, bud. I'm almost done with them anyway."
That's
And
funny.
just a lot of funny stuff. I thought, okay, this one's really good. So this is somebody who thinks that their advice is better than the advice from a seasoned
Here we go.
veteran who spent like 5 years like giving away free game on the internet. Says,
Right.
"Dear fellow guitarists, pluckers, bangers, and crooners of every kind, time and rhythm training is just like ear training for pitch. If you drill it for years and years, it will eventually feel natural to you. Easy." And then Tom says, "It's not easy, honey. Nothing about playing guitar or any other instrument at a high level is easy. In fact, I would greatly enjoy seeing you personally demonstrate how easy it is."
And that is the end of that conversation, because we will never in the history of time see him do it.
That guy will never do it.
He will never do
He'll
it.
never do it.
I've
And
learned that the second you call people out on that shit, they stop immediately.
yeah. And then
Although I am waiting for the one time someone actually does show up and like show me wrong, like prove me wrong, and be like,
yeah.
okay,
Well,
cool,
it's kind of like that one
appreciate it.
guy that we talked about a couple weeks ago who was like, hitting us both up in the comments section or whatever, and we kind of got into a little internet tussle over it. And he actually did have it, and he actually could play pretty well. And it was like, so what are you doing then? Like, like I don't know. Some people I just can't understand. This is the last one I have, and then I'll let you kind of rant a little. So this guy brings up a decent point, but also, and then I like the framing of this, and I like the response. So he says, "Here's what happened. You came on the channel and asked everyone to sign up for the course. You told us that everyone that did would get it for half price." So he did say that in fairness. Out to be false. The course costs $199 for anyone. Fair enough, but what you said in the video proved to be false. There's always going to be blowback for that, and there should be. Still love you, brother. And then Tom said, "Buddy, I have never done this before. I apologize. Can you find it in your heart to overlook the fact that my calculation was off by $50 after I have given you 5 years of absolutely free guitar lessons?" And then the guy said, "You don't owe me shit. I'm still going to buy the course, and I couldn't thank you enough for all the value you brought to me. I've been here from day one, so that's hundreds of hours of free education and entertainment. But it's not unreasonable for people to get hit in the feels when they think their hero do. They are wrong, but not unreasonable." Do you think that's fair? Or do you think it's all just a bunch of bullshit? Ah, you cut out. There you are. You got me?
Yeah, you cut out through.
Okay. So
Yeah, you
my
cut out through
question to you was,
practically that whole thing.
oh, really?
Yeah, hold on. I think I
Anyway,
can fix it. Just keep
it
going.
was
Keep
just a
going.
rant where he was
The what I
saying,
caught though, the ending part that I caught was,
yeah,
but I still love you, brother. Like you can do all the stuff up to that, but I still respect you at the end of the day. It's like, do you though?
yeah, I think he had a fair point, that Tom did say that, but at the same time, it's just kind of like, dude. And Tom's thing was like, can you find it in your heart to forgive me for being off by $50? You know, and it's just
Right.
kind of like, yeah, like who? It's he never said it was going to be free, guys. Like it was going to cost money, and if you know anything about
Mm-hmm.
Tom, it wasn't going to be super inexpensive. It was going to be, hundreds of dollars for a really well shot, well rounded, star studded kind of thing. So I don't know, man. What do you think about all
Yeah.
this? Like, maybe this is why guitar YouTube is dying because of the comments section is so ridiculous.
Yeah. A lot of it with me is like it goes back and forth between like being like a really toxic community and then like a really accepting community, because like you still have your guitar players that are like, I don't care about all the others, like I'm just happy to see that it's being continued on, right?
Right.
I'm happy to see all the new cats coming in, like holding it down, innovating stuff, beyond what we thought you could innovate stuff as. But then you got people that do that where they just gatekeep stuff and they're like, just, you're not allowed to make money and I don't trust you and it's the same thing and just whatever they can come up with. And I don't understand what's the word I'm looking for? The shift. I don't know. There was a bigger word I was going to go for that, but the shift in everything where it just is one extreme to the other. It's so hot and cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could agree that that's probably why at this point in time we're at that, guitar YouTube is dying thing or whatever. It'll probably bounce back at some
Yeah.
point. Some hero will
It's
come along and change things, or
spoilers.
it
It's not,
happens.
but
Yeah.
well, I just found like, trolling through some of those comments and stuff. I just found it really interesting, to see, and just sidebar, overwhelmingly positive. Like people are signed up. He's probably made thousands of dollars in the last 24 hours on that course, and he should, and that's good. And he's gonna pay Brett, and he's gonna pay the camera guy, and he's gonna pay. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
it's 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 gonna go out the door to all the people that it needs to go to. So to me, it's just
Yeah.
like he's still not going to make a ton of money at the end of the day, but it is some passive income at this point that he can make, and he should, because he's being helpful, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I just really love,
Well,
I've had like several people on that do lesson videos, and I'm always interested in the thought process behind people who teach guitar on YouTube and choose
yeah.
that path, and I respect it immensely because I couldn't I couldn't do that. I don't have that much confidence.
Yeah. Well, you need confidence, patience,
And the knowledge and the ability.
knowledge, thick skin,
Yeah. But it's like
and
with
the
a
ability.
basketball
That's yeah.
coach. A basketball coach might have been a subpar player most of their life, but they might have a mind for understanding the game. They just couldn't implement
Right.
physically. But with
Yeah.
guitar, you also need to demonstrate the skill to show what you're doing,
Yeah.
like how it's
Yeah.
supposed to sound. So that's why I respect it so much, because it's not just like coaching t-ball like I did over the spring or whatever. Like you need to be able to demonstrate to people that you're
Right.
the shit. So it is, like samurai guitar. You watch, samurai guitars, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's so good, and he does
He
lesson
is.
course.
Yeah.
Like you can feel confident taking their lessons. So
Yeah. Well, it's like I said, it took time for them to build it up to, oh, I'm a good guitar player. I know what I'm talking about. Yada yada yada. Like it takes time to do that. So,
yeah,
And then
I
obviously
got
they have
people
the
pulling
skills
on
to
me.
do
We
it,
have
so.
3 viewers in the chat over here on my channel, despite our mess of a pre 4th of July live stream. But Guitar Talk Universe, a great channel. They do like group live streams and stuff, kind of like the OU812 crew. And by the way, just a fun thing. Last Saturday at 11:30 my time, I was watching the end of the OU812 crew, and they were doing shots on there. And so, like, the stream, they were still playing great guitar, but the stream had kind of devolved. And then I got called out to join the stream and play, and they just put on a backing track for me, and I took it all home. It was so much fun, dude. And it was just like, yeah, really awesome. So, Jonathan, if you're ever up in the wee hours, you should go on to these live streams and shred a little bit with these dudes. Yeah, man.
If I'm around.
I'll hit you up next
If
time
I'm
they're
around,
live.
barely around during the
and,
day.
try and pull you over there.
Okay, yeah, do that. Yeah.
Brother, what do you have coming up on the 4th of July weekend? Are you doing anything fun?
Yeah, we're normally we go and do some stuff at my parents live in a big neighborhood and they usually have a big fireworks show, but I don't
Yeah.
think we're gonna do that this year just because it's usually a mess getting in there and parking and all this other kind of stuff. So we're gonna kind of do something a little more laid back, have some friends over, get some fireworks out here. We're gonna maybe put movie on the side of our house. We got a little canopy
cool.
thing outside. It'll be fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice, man.
Yeah. What about
Well,
you?
I think we're going to go down to this place on the Snake River called Hawaii tomorrow and let the kids just play in the water and all that. And then come home and maybe light a few off in the street. Being very careful not to set fire to anything. And, just kind of hopefully take it kind of easy.
Yeah.
I'm ready for a break from my work job. A little burnout.
You got that right.
Yeah, bro. It's been nuts this week. People just I don't know about your workflow, but in the industry I work in lumber, people just dump all their work on you and then they leave one day before you do and they come back 2 days after and expect it all to be done.
Yeah. Now, see, fortunately for me, my team that I work with is pretty good. We'll try to find coverage usually well in advance, and we kind of know what's going on. But me specifically right now, like I'm going through a big change. I won't divulge into stuff because it's a lot, but essentially it's a big change. Things are changing, which is normal in our industry. But to prepare for that, we have about 4,800. That's a rough estimate, but about 4,800 customers that need to submit paperwork to yours truly, which they probably all won't. They're probably not all customers of ours anymore, but I'm just swamped with that kind of stuff, and that's not normal for me. Usually it's pretty steady. Sometimes it's pretty slow. So I'm just really just mentally tired. I'm just like, ugh, I just want to sleep. So I'm excited to sleep in a little bit tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
Oh, we're going to the pool tomorrow. That's another
Nice.
thing. We're gonna go swimming tomorrow because I don't ever get
Pool
to go.
honeys.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I have a video coming out tomorrow, but it was shot well in advance, so I'm not working on my day off. I try to avoid that when all possible, but
Good.
content will flow.
I'm trying to tell me what you think about this. All right. So I got the fretboard darkened on the Firebird. This is as far as I've gotten, but I want to paint the headstock next. And I got the nut slot filed so that I can put my little what are these called? Tusk Graphtec
Yeah.
tusk nut in there.
Yeah.
And then here I'll show you what the hold on. So you remember my amp video where I put this fabric on my grill cloth? Oh, we're cutting out again. Hang
I
on.
do.
Stand by. All right. Yeah. So,
Yeah. Yeah. You cut out too.
all right. So I want to do a cloth back on the body with the same cloth
Ooh.
and then burst it, right? So like it'll have the cloth
Yeah.
and then I'll do a bunch of clear coat to get it smooth and then we'll burst it with the gold so that it kind of feathers the edges of it or whatever.
Right.
But I think it will look pretty darn cool. You know, just
Oh yeah.
around
See, that's
there or
unique
whatever.
though.
What's that?
Yeah. I said it's unique though. I think the last time I've heard that someone's used cloth as like an actual finish are the old gyms. I think a lot of the floral print gyms were like actually like cut up curtains or something that someone or whatever it was, some kind of cloth that they put under there. So that's unique.
The what are those? The Paisley Tellies used to be similar.
Yeah.
It was like curtain cloth from a fabric store or something. So that's kind of the idea. The front will be because this one has the ridges on the front.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can't. I could, but it would be so annoying, and there's no way it turns out good if I do it. But I could do the strip, like just the front
Yeah.
here in the cloth. But I think I'm just gonna do the back, and then the front will just be solid color. But I want to start working on that soon. But yeah,
That's still cool though, because it's kind of like the reverse of like what a Les Paul is sometimes, where they'll be like, "Oh, the front is so pretty, but the back is like this beautiful flame, or not flame, but like this beautiful solid piece of whatever." Blah 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 blah. It's kind of like the opposite. Like the back's really cool, but the front's just this plain, like I like that because I mean, some people you get the right guitar, I mean, they're looking all around it, so
right.
smart.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought it would be fun, and I have this extra cloth, and it'll kind of match my amp, which is kind of fun, and
Yeah.
it's all like it's gonna be nitro, so it'll be interesting just to see how it like turns out.
Yeah.
Mountain Man asks, the soft material won't dampen the sound. It's really thin, Mountain Man. Like you could almost see my hand through it if the lighting was good enough in here. It's really, really. It's not quite paper thin, but and then it'll get coated with, and since it's on the back, I don't think it'll affect anything in that way. So should be okay.
That's premium tone cloth, man.
Premium. This is tone cloth, actually. Yeah, this actually sweetens the tone. Dude, I've been playing through the Pocket Master recently. Dude, that thing still slaps. Like, what a cool freaking invention.
I know. I've heard a lot about the Valaton. I think that's how you say that. The
Vailton,
stuff.
yeah.
Vailton.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of good about them, and I've heard some of the stuff that they do, and it's similar to that, but it's like they got more multi effects pedals and stuff. But they've got one that's like a little tuner pedal looking thing, like one of those real small pedals, and it's like the Pocket Master just in that pedal. Or
like
whatever.
the
I'm like,
Tonex
that's
one.
crazy that you control it through your phone. Yeah. But it's crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts.
I'm lagging on your end so bad, I think.
You're okay. You're okay. It's bananas how
Okay.
like you guys like, it's so small and it does so much.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, there you go. You're in it. Have you checked out the tones from that Tone Junkie guy?
I have not.
The IRs.
No, I haven't gotten like I said, I've been so busy. I've not
Yeah.
even sat down and like just played for fun in a while. This is about the only time that I get to in the past however long. I will say this. Hold on. That's what I was gonna do. I was gonna play through this thing. Hold on one second.
Yeah, yeah. That's sick, Steve. Yeah. Yeah, Steve got a Tonex in the mail yesterday, and he spent about 2 hours messing with it last night. He said he really likes it. Those things are cool.
Nice.
Them little.
Yeah. And then you got like I was gonna use this
Ooh.
thing right here.
Jam box.
It's the Jam Buddy 3. So if you
The
remember
Joyo?
the Jam Buddy, yeah, the Joyo. So if you remember the little Jam Buddy thing, this is the third iteration of it. It's not an amp
Dude.
head. It's very similar to the what are they called? The
Spark.
Yamaha or the Spark.
Or the
it's-
THR10.
Yeah, like the THR. It's very similar to that, but this one's got like USB out and all that kind of stuff, line out. It's not like I said, it's not an amp head, but it's 40 watts speakers here. You can plug in a guitar, a bass, or an acoustic to it, so it's like 3-in-1.
Oh, cool.
It's got an app on it, and I was going to use it because it sounds really good when you line out it. I mean, it sounds good with the speakers, but man, you put it through a line out, and that thing sounds really, really good.
Do you get to use it for can you use it for a head? Like on a
No,
cab?
I don't think so.
Into
'Cause
FR
it's-
though, right? Because if
think
it
so.
if it has XLR out,
Yeah, well, no, it's got an XLR in, so no, it's just literally two.
Oh.
You have mono and stereo line out. So.
okay, okay.
But it does come with its own little wireless transmitter.
Oh,
Kinda cool,
sick.
so. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
that's
cool
kind of
little thing.
like
I was-
the new Sparks. I think have those with them.
Yeah, but I mean, it's cool. I have a video coming out on that soon. But I was gonna use that because I was really, really impressed. I have I think I mentioned last week I was looking for something new to do because I was getting a little burnt out on stuff. And my God, did a company come through and say something? I think I already mentioned what it was. If not, it's hey, I'll show you, I guess.
All right.
There you go.
It's pink.
It's a melodica. If you've ever heard of melodica. Let's see.
Does that have MIDI, bro?
So, no, it's just straight up. So here's the thing. They asked me. They said, like, do you play this? Do you play that? And they said, do you play melodica? And I was like, I have one. I've not played it in forever because I have one besides this one.
Right.
And then I got to think about it. I'm like, I got an idea of what I could do with this. So I said, go ahead and send it just to be on the fun side. And I started working on it the other day, and man, I think it'll be cool if I can get it to. But I had this thing mic'd up with like an SM57. I had an SM57 right on the end, and I was like, what am I doing with my life right now? But I will tell you, that was a lot of fun just to do that little part because I was trying to get like an idea down and then work on it kind of over time. But man, that's the first time I've had fun in a while doing some kind of sponsor thing, and I think it's just because I'm getting so overworked. That's the last thing on my list. Fortunately, I finished off the rest of the stuff this morning, so I have nothing else sponsored at the moment, and I'm probably going to take a break from doing sponsored stuff for a while, I think.
Nice. Yeah, man. It was interesting. I actually sent an email to Firefly because they do a lot of work with like smaller channels and stuff. And I was like, hey,
Right.
if you guys ever want to sponsor an episode, because you kind of gave me the idea since we had Donner sponsor last week. I was kind of like, well, maybe somebody else would want to. I mean, so I reached out to Firefly just to see, because I would love to check out their Van Halen style, like
Yeah.
EVH style guitars. Those are awesome.
Yeah.
But-
They seem to go that route, and I think it's smart where they do like the knockoff signature stuff. Like they've got the
Yeah.
EVH. They have a John 5 one, but it's the white one with the red. They've got a bucket head thing,
Yep.
which I love the bucket head. Oh my God. They got
Oh,
Zach
dude.
Wild, the
It's so
bullseye stuff, and I'm like, yeah.
they have a Buckethead V on the three stripe red stripe Buckethead V. They have one on Reverb. Somebody's got one up on Reverb right now.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Oh, really? It's cool. I'll send you links later. It's pretty cool. Kill switch and everything.
Yeah.
And I think Trogley
Yeah.
reviewed.
That's one of my favorite.
Oh, go
Sorry,
ahead.
I cut you off.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, that's one of my favorite signature, like probably my favorite signature Les Paul is Bucketheads, with
Yeah.
with the kill switches and stuff, the white with the red. Oh my god,
It's sick, dude.
what I would do to have one of those. Yeah.
I also made a little purchase. Got Dan Huff's solo album he just put out. Is all
Is
the
that a CD?
well, if you think of I quit Spotify because they're just raking artists across the coals on their payout. It's so criminal. And I don't really care about what that guy does with his money. That was like a hot thing where it's like he funded, I think a weapons program or something. Like he like bought stock in a weapons manufacturer. It's like, yeah, well, I don't really care about that stuff. What I care about is that he's not paying artists what they should be making.
Paying
So
the
I've
people that are making him his money.
and
Well,
so I've
foreign
just
concept.
switched to like, I'll buy the CD, and then if I want it on my phone, I can literally like rip it and put it on my phone.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, 'cause
I
if
have
You're not redistributing it. I mean, do what you want.
right. It's just for me, right? So it's not like
Yep.
Anyway, I just got this, and there it is, kids. These are called CDs.
Cars
Anyway.
used to be able to play those things.
Yeah, really cool. So I'm looking forward to listening to that in the car. The other thing about buying physical media that I've been really loving is like I'll just get you can get CDs for like $1 at Goodwill, and
Yeah.
people are dropping those things off left and right. So I've found so much. I was listening to Soundgarden, Super Unknown.
Yep.
That's like a 20-song album. It's like
I know.
it's so good, dude. And I don't think I ever listened to it all the way through. I also found this one's near and dear to my heart. Little
Oh, is that Melancholy? Yeah.
Yep, Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, Smashing Pumpkins. That's
Yeah.
shout out to the late great Adam Smith and his love of Smashing Pumpkins. And so I found that the other day for $1 at Goodwill. I was like, that's coming with me.
Nice.
And that's another album I never listened to all the way through, but it's a double album.
Right.
And it's awesome. I started learning Zero on guitar the other day.
Yeah, it's a fun song.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So it's definitely been, honestly, like, has reintroduced like something that is near and dear to my heart, which is the hunt. I think we all like that as guitar players, right? Like you love to go to Guitar Center and find something you weren't expecting, and
Right. Yeah.
and it's the same way for me with music. Like if I can go into a Goodwill or a thrift store or something and hunt and find some gold, it's just awesome.
Right. That's what I do with the vinyls. Like we have so right outside my room, or the basement rather. There's just a little like hallway, real tiny hallway, and we painted it black, floor to ceiling. Well, the ceiling's white still, but you know what I mean. And we were gonna kind of make that our little music room, and part of it was we would buy vinyls of bands and artists we like, and we have the little what do you call them, little Scotch clip things that you just stick to the wall, and
Yeah.
you just take the sleeve and just slide it in there, and it's just nice decoration. But I'm finding vinyls that actually work. Like if they're older, I'll find them, and if I want to play them, like my son's got a Victrola upstairs or something, or I can, because he funny little thing here, my son loves Tyler the Creator.
Oh, right on.
And yeah, and he has been buying all of his vinyls, his CDs, because he's got a desktop up in his
Yeah.
room that has a CD player on it, or a CD drive on it, and he'll just sit there and instead of going to Spotify, he'll do, what you're talking about. He'll put the CD in there and play the CD, or he'll open the little record player and because he's doing the same thing that we're doing with this room. He's got his Tyler wall where he's got all of his records, and he'll go over there and pull it out, set it in there, and play it. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So that's
No,
cool. But that's that's what we do in that room is we'll go and buy Goodwill or something, going through all the old 40s and 50s hits and
Dude.
Christmas records and all the Christian records, and
Yep.
maybe find one that's someone that I know.
Find a banger every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got, so Mountain Man says 95% of the music he owns is on CD. I also have cassettes and a few 8-tracks. And then
Ooh.
Torsten from T's Guitars says he does vinyl and CD still. And, I think there's something really fun and like romantic and tactile about owning physical media. And I think like from one dad to another, you passing that on. I have a bunch of vinyls as well. You passing that on to your kids so that they learn the joy of owning somebody's music and like having that be theirs. Like the music kind of becomes yours at that point.
Right.
Like you buy the music.
I've noticed this too.
And you get to keep it forever.
Right. And I've noticed this too, and I mean, call me crazy, call me a hipster, whatever you want to call it, because you always get like that feeling of the physical media. It's nothing like that. I 100% believe that the quality of what you would get, like just sound-wise overall, through the same speakers from a CD and are connecting it Bluetooth and streaming Spotify, the CD, the cassette, the vinyl, whatever, just sounds better.
Yeah.
Hey, when you're listening to music, you want it to sound good, right? That's the whole point of it, right? And to me, it's like if I were to pop in a CD and play it through my studio monitors, like they're not the most impressive things in the world, but I've had them forever. I know how they whatever. It would sound a million times better, I think. Maybe not even a million times better, but just better in general to me than if I just opened Spotify and played it, because you're not streaming. You don't have to worry about your network, Bluetooth, going interference, all that stuff, because it's just there, I know that sounds weird maybe, but I mean, that's just something I've always
No,
noticed.
you're not wrong at all. I have a buddy who uses Tidal instead of Spotify because Tidal has CD quality streaming. And like honestly, CD came in and set the standard for audio quality from a playback medium. Like records are great, but you almost have to spend like $1,000 on a record player to hit the right threshold of quality output. But CDs will do it in your headphones or in your car or wherever. That's going to be high quality for sure.
Right. Now I need to go get a Discman.
Mark Spurgeon says he has thousands of CDs to match his thousands of guitars. But yeah, I think there's a resurgence in physical media. I think that we realize that maybe streaming's not necessarily the way.
Yeah, I mean it's a nifty idea. Like if you're, if you own a restaurant or you own a store and you just want something kind of piping through the speakers, stream it all day because no one's there at the store listening to the one-hit wonder from 20 years ago that's now their supermarket hit. What do you know? But if you're sitting at home or you're driving around town or something, or you're just chilling in the park and you just want to listen to music, yeah, man. I mean, the days. I mean, I remember to this day the little portable CD players, man. You put the CDs in there and it just sounded great. Yeah, the Discman, and like even probably back in the day with the Walkman.
Yeah,
with cassette, So
I got me one.
What, a Walkman or a Discman?
A Walkman. Remember I did that video a couple years ago. And here's my awesome mix.
Wow.
Cassette player with Bluetooth for your headphones, by the way. So you can go wireless if you want to. Pretty cool invention.
Yeah. No, that's something I've noticed. There's a lot of bands. I'm glad that they still print CDs, and even like I think Slipknot did a while back where they had one of their albums on cassette, like one of their newer albums on cassette. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, yeah, because there's a store probably about 20 minutes from here that's like a nerdy kind of store or whatever. It's called Killer Finds. If anybody watches this and they're local, they'll know what I'm talking about. But you go in there and they got a bunch of music stuff in the back, and they have a bunch of cassettes. And I remember seeing the Slipknot one in there.
A lot
It
of.
was like last year or something.
Hold on, I got one more trinket.
Oh, we got trinkets.
So, fellow Georgians, Larkin Poe, they release their stuff on cassettes as well,
Yeah.
and and CD and vinyl. But they're back. People are finding the value, and then the best part is your money then goes direct to the creator. Like, obviously they're gonna have overhead for the production cost of the medium, whatever it be, vinyl pressing or CDs or whatever, but your money goes directly to them, which
Yeah.
allows them to go out on tour and come to your city. And to me, that's why that was my ethos, I guess. But also, I just kind of like having shit. Like, I like having tapes. I like CDs. I like records. So I do have a bunch of vinyl too,
Yeah.
and new vinyl, like Jared James Nichols vinyl. And I bought that on Amazon, which wasn't the best choice. But when I bought it on Amazon, it gave me the MP3s for free, so I was able to put it on my phone too. So.
You didn't have to go through the whole converting them and stuff because that's
Right.
probably a
But yeah.
pain. There was I don't know if I've ever told this story publicly. I may have. No, I'll tell you here real quick. So
Yeah.
Rob Chapman, he had a band or a group or whatever called Clockwork Wolf and Company, and for a song that he had written, he asked people, he was like, I have this idea for a music video, and I want you to record yourself playing something, preferably the song, and I'm going to, mute the track and just put you in a music video. So he did one, it was a really long music video. He actually played the song twice to include everybody in it. I was in the first half because I submitted it, signed all the paperwork, and I was in the first half of it, right?
Right.
And part of the thing was, he was like, okay, everybody that did this is going to get their name on the vinyl for this album or whatever when it comes out.
Oh, that's cool.
So I was like, awesome. Yeah. So I was like, awesome. And this is when we started doing our room. This was years ago. So I was like, okay, cool. Pre-ordered it, got the email, saved the email. It's like, okay, give it a couple months. We're pressing now, whatever. Wait until it gets to that date. Don't hear anything. No shipping, nothing like that. So what's going on? Another email. Oh, it's been delayed a year. What? Okay. Wait another year. Nothing. It's delayed again for like another 6-7 months. I was like, great. And then like 3 or 4 months into that 6 or 7 months, I got a refund. And I was like, what is this? And then Rob Chapman made a video about it saying, oh, well, we had problems with the pressing company. And I was like, okay. And I knew that this was some kind of, it's happened with him before, and this is where he gets a lot of heat, because he had with his line of guitars the British Standard line years ago. It was, the factory closed and we had all this and all these pre-orders, blah, blah, blah. And it was just a big thing. So I'm like, I just got freaking British Standard here. It's like, it was and that really, I don't know. That really bummed me out because I was looking forward to having that. I was telling everybody
yeah.
like, I'm going to have this unique kind of thing. And it just
Fizzled.
never panned out. And I was like, yeah. And there was never any kind of re-announcement about it. And then they disbanded. And I was like, ugh. But anyway, that's my sad Rob Chapman story.
God damn it, Rob. Yossi asks, please add 2 more good things about cassettes. 1, the covers. 2, aka Snug Drawerson says no skipping. That's a bonus.
Yeah. Yeah.
3, you can record over, like, you get the blank tapes, and you can
Yeah.
record over them with basically anything if you can hook it up. So, like, recording radio segments or,
Yeah.
songs that you couldn't get. So, it was the first medium where you could pirate music really easily. And I always thought that was a fun aspect,
No, you can't be calling into the radio station and requesting a song and then sitting by the radio with your cassette recorder like, it's like they're about to play it. Shh.
Do it now. Make
And
sure you press.
somebody's talking in the background when you hit record, and you're like, "Shut up!" and you get that on tape forever. Nothing beats that.
Oh, such good times, dude. Like figuring out. That's like
God.
figuring out. Like Napster is the baby of us recording music off the radio with cassette tapes. Like that wouldn't exist without us having that experience.
I know. Jam Pro Sound over in my chat, he says, he's got 3 comments. He says, "Why would anybody expect Rob to hold his word on anything ever? I've learned that the hard way." True. And then he said, "Bummer." Yeah. No, I told you there's a lot of controversy behind that, man. And then he
Yeah.
said, "Nothing else sounds like nothing else sounds like the sound of a deck eating a tape." Yeah, that's a special kind of sound. And then he just said, "All packs of blanks should have come with a free part or a free pen or pencil." That was gonna be my next point, is that they help keep the pencil business in business.
I'm
you
not
gotta go
going
in
to
there
dig it out, but when I bought this from We Are Rewind, they sent a golf pencil.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They sent a pencil, which is like a nod to exactly that, like
Yeah.
rewinding the, I always found it's easier to use the pad of my fingers. But
Yeah. I mean, like for me, I got kind of like thicker fingers, so I just kind of like my pinkies usually. But I remember, man, I'm like, feel the indents on the tip
Yeah.
of the pinky there.
BCG said he made money
crying
on
now we're
making
old.
mixtapes back in the day. That's awesome.
Hell yeah. Hell
Yeah,
yeah. See, I've got a bunch of mixed CDs somewhere that I've back when me and my wife met, I had already burned a bunch of CDs for me because I started driving around the time, CDs were kind of like at their peak, I would say. So I burned a lot of CDs and stuff, and would listen to them in my car, and then I met her, and she's like, "Make me a CD, make me," because she found out I could make them, and I was
Yeah.
like, okay. And listening to those CDs, I would do anything to find them. They're somewhere in like one of those little visor cases, little sleeves.
Yeah.
I just gotta find it, and I'm like, man, I want to get it and like just put it in something and just crank it and be like, "You remember this?"
Dude.
Fun times.
Tell me if you've heard this, if you've written this title on a CD before. Road Trip Mix. 2008. Like,
I don't know if I ever wrote Road Trip Mix, but I know I always wrote just like Megan, because that was her name. That's her name. Not her, was her name, but I'd always just write her name on it and say like, Megan 1, and we'd always be like, just put in like Megan 2 and let's just listen to it. We just listen to it on repeat when we go out and drive around.
Johnathan Hart's Megan forever.
Forever, yeah. I'm sure I wrote something like that on there at some point.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
yeah,
that was
like,
that's fun. That's fun stuff. Like that is. Those are core memories. I mean, that's like way more fun than making a playlist on Spotify.
yeah, because I mean, you're limited to whatever the CD can hold, right? So like on Spotify, you could put every song on Spotify in one playlist and just say there it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if your CD only holds 10 songs, like man, they better be 10 bangers.
Bangers. Bangers only. I want Limp
Bangers
Bizkit.
only.
I want Korn. Need some Nickelback.
Right. Hey, that's a good mix CD right there. Just bangers only written on the front. Nothing else.
Well, it reminds me of like that on 40-year-old virgin when Paul Rudd takes over that box of tape of video cassette your VHS tapes, and one of them's called like Boner Jams 008 or something like that, or '07.
Oh, jeez.
It's so
Oh, my
funny.
God.
Well,
I
buddy,
know it.
we better wrap this. It's been an absolute
Yeah.
delightful shit show today with our internet connections, but you know,
I know. If you know what, I think I fixed it on my end because my settings, the bit rates were like way too low. And I didn't realize that. And I fixed it, and it's been fine on my end since. So maybe if you fix it on yours, it'll kind of cut out the rest of those. But we'll try to talk about that next time before we start.
Just,
I'll show you how to do it. It's really easy. But
just a millennial in a Zoomer world, man.
I know.
But
Yeah.
yeah, we'll
Never thought I'd feel this old, but here we are.
maybe one day we'll have this thing go perfect. Probably not, but it's on brand for us for it not to be perfect. Oh, by the way, what does everybody think of the new logo on my channel? I took the picture of the old logo and I said, make this, but make it like more reverent and 3D and all that stuff, and it turned out pretty cool, I think.
You're not supposed to tell him we used AI for that.
Well, I'm not a graphic designer.
It's something. Neither am I. I mean,
Yeah.
that's something that we workshop for a while. We're like, what about this? And
Yeah.
I was just like, you know what? Screw it. Just AI. It works. It's not. We're not ripping anybody off, and it
Right.
works.
Right,
It
and
makes something
shout
kinda
out,
cool, and then
shout
AI
out
made it better.
Microsoft for Copilot, because
Right.
Copilot did a number on that image, dude. Like that was pretty awesome. First attempt, even it didn't even take me very long. I did it right before we started.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
BCG, you don't have to pay me if you want me to do a logo work for you. I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do it, man. No charge
Cool.
for my brother. BCG put up a really nice short on his channel for my wife and mine's anniversary. I posted the song I wrote for her, just playing it on acoustic. Maybe that's something you can help me with sometime, man. I want to record like an actual good version of that song. We cut out again.
Yeah, I heard what you said though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we can most certainly work on that.
Yeah, man.
Happy to help.
Cool. Well, thanks to everybody for hanging out.
Yeah, it's stuck with us through the good times and the bad. I think we ended on a pretty solid note of nostalgia and back pain.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I actually was stretching before we got on here too.
Am I lying? I told you.
You ain't lying.
I told you.
Boy, wait till you hit 40, son.
Fortunately, that's a little whiles away for me, but
Yep.
well, in the grand scheme of things. But anyway, all right. Well, I'm exhausted. I just realized
Get
how
some
tired I am,
rest,
but
brother.
anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get off here, man, and finish up stupid stinky work, and then I might go and take me a little siesta. I don't know. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, everybody that jumped in on both of our streams, thank you again for doing that. We have a lot of fun here, even when we have nobody watch us. We have a lot of fun here. It's just two dudes hanging out, and that's what's fun about it. So thank you guys. Maybe 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific next week. I don't know.
Yep.
Maybe
That's the
2:30. I
plan.
don't know. We'll just say between 2 and 2:30, or 11 and 11:30. Just be here. Just subscribe. You'll know when we go.
That's right.
do that.
Yeah, thanks to we got 13 on my channel. What up? Just shouts to Fulio and Mountain Man, Steve Gunner, Jimmy Biter, BCG Guitars, T's Guitars. Thank you. We got Mark Spurgeon and AKA Snug. Anybody else to shout out in here? Am I missing anybody? I don't want to miss people. Oh, and Guitar Talk Universe was here at the start too. Thank you for hanging out with us, and like Jonathan said,
Nice.
sticking through the good times and the bad.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well,
Well,
everybody have a
guys and
great
gals, we'll
4th
see
of
you
July.
next week, next Thursday. Yes, absolutely.
Yep.